Today we're going to be talking to you about family. Now, a 10-minute video isn't really long enough to get into the complexities of a family and growing a family, but we really want to hit 3 key points with this session for you.
The first takeaway is the idea that the family is defined as wherever and with whomever you feel home, where you feel loved, where you feel safe, where you feel secure. That is the definition of family. It doesn't necessarily mean you have children. It could mean elderly parents who live with you. It could mean extended family. Maybe it's just the two of you.
Maybe it's an adopted child or children.
Yes.
Family tends to come in all shapes and sizes these days.
Right. So when we're talking about your household and we're talking about growing and nurturing that emotional, physical, and spiritual health of the family, we mean your personal definition of it.
The second takeaway is really the concept of our home being a little church. The church is not just the building that we go to and visit, and God does not live only there. He is in and among and around us and everywhere we go and everything that we do. And that especially includes our home. Right. So our home has to be that place where we nurture our faith and love in Jesus Christ together.
Yes.
That's really about what a marriage is about. And so that we can model that faith for our children.
Right, exactly. With each other, within yourselves, how you feel about yourself is really key too. And of course with God. So let's begin by having you picture something for me. Imagine the ideal family setting. Maybe for you, it's an older child or two playing in the corner as you and your spouse sit side by side on a couch. Maybe there's a baby sleeping peacefully in your lap, and a dog or cat is curled up by your feet. A fire is roaring. The room is clean. The laundry is folded. Delicious smells waft in from the kitchen. And ever feel that warmth, that perfection? Whatever's in your head right now, crumble it up and chuck it, because that's not real life, right?
Nope.
Real life is messy. It's chaotic. It can be lonely. It can be scary. Having young children is hard. It's not Pinterest and it's not the Hallmark movies we're all watching right now. Definitely. And that's why it's so important to stay connected in these small, tiny ways. It's important to grow between the two of you first, even before you focus on how you parent, so that you can support each other at every stage of your family life. Because it is stages, right?
For sure.
It's newborn, and then it's toddler, and school age, and high school. Oh my gosh, high school. And, oh God, and then they're leaving.
Before you know it, they're out of the house.
They're out of the house. What remains constant? You. This, what you share with your spouse, is what remains. That's what sets the foundation. It's the two of you. It's you inside yourself, and it's what you have with God. Okay, so what are the tiny ways, small steps that you can stay connected with your spouse? Well, one of them is to appreciate and notice what your spouse is doing right. And we always focus on, don't do this. You're not loading the dishwasher correctly.
Right.
So what is your spouse doing right? What are the qualities that you see in your spouse that you know would make them a good parent or are already working, right? If you're already a parent. And it's really important that you both stay involved, and that you also let your spouse be involved, right? Yeah. It tends to work that in a couple dynamic, one person tries to do everything and then the other person lets them because a pattern develops. So when you are parents or are trying to run a home, if you are trying to nurture a family, you need to trust each other and you need to let each other shine and discover things about themselves.
We have to learn to forgive each other and to say we're sorry to each other, because that's a part of growing together is, yep, we made mistakes. We stepped on each other's toes. We hurt each other in the midst of these things, but we have to find a way to come back to repent, right? That's a big thing.
And of course you would bring this up because I grew up in a very loving household, but I didn't grow up in one where we said, I forgive you. We said, I'm sorry, but we didn't say, I forgive you. To us, it was a little corny. And so the first time he ever said it to me, I said, oh, I'm sorry. And he said, I forgive you. And I said, ugh, are you better? Okay. No one said, who says that? But then I realized through practicing it myself that those are really powerful words. I forgive you. And I love you, and I'm here for you, and let's do this together, right? So it's about being able to laugh. And even in the book, you'll read this in the chapter next week. It's about having a sense of humor and flexibility, which is really what we're talking about here, right? Because these are the ways that you will stay connected with one another. Yeah. Just learn to laugh at it, joke about it. It's okay. You're going to mess up, and that's okay. That's good. It's good to do it. I think it's really important to listen to one another and to notice each other. My second daughter, I almost had her in the car on the way to the hospital. I was literally pushing her out in the car, and I couldn't stop it. I remember that I looked up at him and he had tears in his eyes because to see your spouse in pain is not a fun thing. And I remember saying to him, this really hurts. Can you get me an epidural? And he said, well, we're a little past that point. But what else can I do? And he just sat and locked eyes with me as I had our second child. The experience of almost having her in the car was very traumatizing for me. And he noticed that in the coming months, that I was more anxious, that I would think about it, and I would cry a little more easily. I mean, hormones are raging. But he really noticed that I was going through that. And he was so attentive, and he was so there for me. And I was really grateful for that. Yeah. And I think we continue to do it. We continue to notice and really look at each other. What is he or she going through today?
Yeah, to really try and empathize with one another now. And noticing. I think noticing is a big part of that. You know, one of the great things that Michelle does for me, is that she will notice it and pull it out of me sometimes because I don't want to talk about it, right? So why is this so important? Because your kids, your family members are watching you. And you know, this is summed up really well in a quote by Henry Nouwen. He says this: the greatest gift parents can give their children is their love for each other. Through that love, they create an anxiety-free place for their children to grow, encouraging them to develop confidence in themselves and find the freedom to choose their own ways in life.
You know, you're right. The ideas that we have been sharing have been things that you can do as a couple, but it's so important to support family wellness. So what are things you can do together? Well, you can eat dinner together. Family meals boost mental and physical health and keep the family bond strong. You can pray together. Find time in the morning, before meals, and at night. For some, it's helpful to create a special area to pray in the home. You might hang icons, light a candle, or even spend a few minutes reading from the Bible. Practice being fully present. When you're with your family, really be together. Put away your phones, limit other distractions, and be in the moment as much as you can. Be affectionate. Physical affection releases those feel-good hormones. It lowers blood pressure, it decreases depression, and increases trust among family members. Really important, make time for silence. Before or after prayer, try to sit in complete silence as a family for 1 to 3 minutes. This is a really powerful way to release stress and tension and anything that distracts from the commitment you're making to your home life.
On the topic of family, we asked some of our Family Wellness Ministry team, with what you know now, what's a small piece of advice you would give to parents? Let's hear what their answers are.
Something I learned along the way was I don't need to fix everything or tell everybody, how can you make this better? Sometimes when my children would share things with me, what they really wanted was me to just sit in the discomfort with them and acknowledge what they were feeling and what they were going through. and to stand next to them as they did it. Game changer.
I'm often amazed what kids eventually make of themselves when they grow up. So encourage their interests and aspirations, even though it may feel different from what you might wish for them.
There are two things that I wish I had known before I had children. And the first is that, it's difficult to know who to trust and which parenting books to read. So the first thing was, I wish I had Dr. Philip Mamalaki's book, Parenting Toward the Kingdom, before I had children, because it's so excellent. And the second thing is that I wish I had understood that teaching self-discipline and obedience are not as important as staying connected to our kids. When we stay connected, our children feel securely attached to us. And that secure attachment is what allows them to thrive later in life in whatever environment they find themselves. But if they're only taught to obey and to be disciplined, and they miss that connection, then they're going to struggle later in life, fall into things secretly. So all of these things are important, but being connected, having the children feel loved and accepted and supported is probably more important in the long run.
We can focus so much on the non-stop busy work of loving our kids that we can miss loving on each other. It's no wonder that research shows that at the 7th year mark, after the newlywed stage and the dating stage is over, and kids enter the picture, that marital satisfaction declines. So it's super important that you make time and connection for each other. Intentional time. Get out, have fun, play, prioritize focusing on one another. Pray together as a family. Get off your phones and all those screens and be intentional to keep that spark alive. And the other nugget is, don't try to rush in to save your kids from disappointments when life is challenging. It's important that our kids know that we'll be with them through the toughest of moments, but not rush to rescue or solve their problems.
As a clergyman, it's always been very difficult for me to find unbroken time with my family because there's always a demand, there's always a call. It's a 24/7 job. But there was one thing that I made sure that I did, and it was being part of my children's day-to-day routines, dropping them off in the morning, picking them up afternoon, and making sure that I was part of their extracurricular activities. It was one of the greatest joys that I had, that even if I couldn't give them a proper vacation or give them a full day off, at least, I was part of their sports programs, their drama programs, their choral programs. We even performed with them from time to time, even danced with them. I just grabbed those moments and made them my own. And so my kids had that kind of undivided attention. We can make that happen. Other things just don't quite go as well in a clergyman's life, but that was a non-negotiable for me. And I'm hoping it could be a non-negotiable for each family.
This chapter is about family, and that's not just the children that you and your spouse may have. It's also about navigating the changing relationship with your parents once they become grandparents. You are coming at this journey with different expectations, hopes, wishes, and I just encourage everyone to keep those discussions open and honest and often with as much compassion and empathy as you can muster, because it can be challenging at times, but truly what a beautiful thing to see your parents become grandparents and to share that with them. So that's what I was surprised about, how my relationship would change for better and for challenging times too with my own parents.
Try office hours with dad or mom, where you, at the end of the day, hang out in bed with your kids in a relaxed way. Just ask questions to reflect on either the day, or it could be a year ago or 2 years ago, about stories that they experience. You just listen and you get to tell your story too. So you're part of the dynamic, the connection. Try it, you'll love it. Stories are beautiful.
If I was to give you some parenting advice, I think it would start with stay connected to yourself. What do I mean by that? Our kids mean so much to us that when the most important circumstances are happening, we have deep feelings. Very often, that deep feeling can come from a place of fear. It's super common. But when we parent from a place of fear, then likely we're going to be reactive, and our message is lost because our manner is too intense. So we would say, in the spirit of self-reflection, that we turn down the dial of intensity, stay connected to ourselves to know that when too much is coming up and we're trying to parent at the same time, we've got to do one before the other. Attend to what's coming up, get clarity on if that's reactive, if that's coming from fear. I want to make sure that, as research says, fear leads to control, and we might be over-parenting at the times that we need to be connecting, as we say, before correcting. Hope that helps.